Hey everybody, how's it going? This is a replay of a webinar I did with Tactical Arbitrage creator Alex Moss. This is for beginners, so if you are an intermediate or advanced user, you might be bored by this, so maybe go find another video. But if you're new, if you're in the trial, if you're in your first month, or just have never really gotten to use the software, this is for you. Watch it, and at the end of it, you're going to have a much better understanding of how to use tactical arbitrage, how to set your parameters, how to find products and filter products that are going to actually sell. So let's get directly into it. Let's go.
So probably one of the smartest things for us to do is to jump on into a bit of screen sharing. And let me just see what I can do. Share a screen. And I will share this screen. All right.
Guys, if the resolution isn't great, the resolution for me looks awesome. If the resolution for some reason isn't good for you, it is kind of important that you can actually see the screen and the kind of smaller things going on. I promise that the replay will be crystal clear. A lot of people that don't have super fast internet might not see this in the full, clarity that it might need, but the replay will have it. So if for some reason you can't see it, if it's super blurry, the replay, I promise, will be clear, and you can watch that later. Justin says looks good to me, though. Tim says looks good. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Okay, cool. And I might actually, because I'm sharing a screen, I might miss some of the comments in the chat. So just shout out to me if if you need. All right, cool. So let's assume you've just signed up to Tactical Arbitrage. One of the first things that you're going to see is this dashboard here. Now, I won't spend a lot of time on the dashboard, but long story short, this is the status of the current of currently what's happening across all of the pages. So I can see right now that I've got a search running on product search, but I don't have any Amazon flips or reverse library or wholesale searches active. And I can jump into any of those pages and have a look at the a search or the view data page. Or the save data page for any of these pages. So this is the dashboard, and this is kind of where you get started. Now, what is online arbitrage? To summarize it into just a very concise kind of a sentence, it's all about purchasing from one location, whether that be a wholesaler, from a retailer, online sale that's going on, etc., and then turning around and then selling that over at Amazon. And then, of course, once Amazon takes out their fees and you've allowed for the postage to actually ship those products into Amazon, we want to kind of work out which products are going to be the most profitable when all the checks and balances have been accounted for. And that is arbitrage. It's about finding things that once they've sold and all fees are taken out, there's going to be some profit in it. And there's multiple ways of finding these products using tactical arbitrage. Depending on which subscription you have with TA. I've obviously got a full suite here. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for me to have a half suite. But product search and reverse search is in the online arbitrage tool, and it's where a lot of people get started. The next progression from there is usually wholesale. Some people jump straight into wholesale and only ever do wholesale. So we have a tier for people who are just doing wholesale. We have a tier for people who are just doing online arbitrage, which is product search and reverse search. We have a subscription tier which encompasses all three of those, product search, reverse search, and wholesale search. And then we have one for the flippers, and I'm talking about buying from Amazon, getting it to your address, turning it back around, shipping it straight back to Amazon, and then reselling it on Amazon for a profit. And that's usually the book sellers and the Amazon to Amazon flip sellers. Now, the full suite also has these. If you're just getting started, you may not be interested in getting into that stuff right away, but definitely profit is to be found in these types of scams as well. Long story short, if you've got whatever you've actually got a subscription to, there's no real reason for these dots to be red. If you've got red dots here, that means you're not scanning. If you've got green dots here, that means you've got a scan on the go. And I would recommend that you have as many green dots going at once. Now we have a new system in place, which has been super cool, which allows you to scan up to 10 product search, reverse searches, and wholesale searches simultaneously. I'm looking into adding flips and library into this mix as well, so that you can run multiples of these scans as well. And that's currently being dissected and analyzed to see the logistics behind that. There's some reasons why we didn't add them immediately, because some of the kinds of calls that we make to Amazon experience a heavier throttling limit. Without getting too technical, it means Amazon doesn't like to be hit as hard or as often with the kinds of scans that we're doing on library and Amazon flips as we can get away with product search, reverse search, and wholesale. But we are looking at integrating all of them into that multi-search manager tool. Now, Search Manager is where it tells me what's currently being scanned. Now, I started a Fat Brain toy scan before. Why did I start a Fat Brain toy scan? Okay, I started a Fat Brain toy scan because I noticed that they currently have a sale on. And that's kind of what you want to do. So let's say you're just starting out on product search. Now, if you're just starting out on product search, you really want to find where currently has promotions. There's a few ways of doing that. You can either sign up to the newsletters of the critical key domains that you find on product search. Let me open up a product search page so I can show you those domains. So USA.com is what we currently have it set for. We might have some UK people in the house as well. Shout out to you guys if you are. And there's other countries we cater for as well, including Germany, Japan, Spain, France, Australia, Italy is coming. So let's say, for example, we just go through these one by one and we go 1,000 bulbs, and we go across to 1,000 bulbs using that little icon there. We pop into there, and what we're looking for is a couple of things. One thing would be just, do they have a newsletter? And if they do have a newsletter, say here, sign up for deals. I'd stick my email address in there, and I would start getting sent things such as this, 20% off all halogen bulbs using this coupon code. So I'd recommend you probably use a different email for this, or set up your Gmail in such a way that you can actually funnel those emails into one tab. You know how Gmail's got a few different tabs you can use. I didn't like that when it first came out. It seemed messy, but now I can see that for organizational purposes such as this, it can certainly be useful. Or you may want to, of course, open up your own separate Gmail account that you check daily and funnel all of these stores' newsletters into there. So the very, very first one we clicked, we're seeing 20% off all halogen bulbs. So that's a great start. And we would be getting this kind of thing in our inbox every single day. There are a couple of services out there that also do things like this. Tactical Bucket, for one, has already done a collating service of deals. If you want to check in with Javier San Juan and have a look at his service. Otherwise, feel free to just get the email sent to your inbox. Or you can do like I do and just say, shoot.
Alex, I think the big thing that you're touching on that a lot of people miss is just the aspect of kind of finding your own like honeypots, right? And finding these deals as they come available. And one of the ways to do that is, like you showed, this is not stuff that you would really learn how to do just by looking at the software itself, right? But if you start with a discount, it's much easier to find products. And not only that, but they're going to be much less saturated because you're proactive and finding these random deals at lightbulbs.com or whatever it was that other people aren't. So I think that's an awesome point. I think we should hammer home again. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably something that because I'm so ingrained with TA, I've forgotten to sort of mention what you've just actually made a point on. If I was to just blindly go, all right, I'm going to search these guys, and just blindly just go, I want to see 20% profit, and I'm going to search light bulb and just hit search. then there is a chance that you will find some things, and there is also a chance that you won't find some things, and you'll be messaging me going, I couldn't find anything with tactical arbitrage. I don't know if it was just me, but the software just didn't work for me. Well, the thing is, it's about putting all of the pieces of the puzzle into place and then hitting the search button. And then by doing that, you'll see mountains of gold appear. And it is really easy to find deals with just a couple of small tweaks. So in this particular instance, I've looked at the very first site on the list, and I've seen that there's 20% off all halogen bulbs. Now, halogen bulbs is a bit of a tricky one to search, mainly because it's a universal product code site, so we could be good there. Now, universal product code will match against universal product codes over at Amazon, which will be a nice clean match. But our secondary layer of matching is quite an advanced image and title matching algorithm. And the problem is with light bulbs kind of look like light bulbs. And we would definitely make a lot of matches, and I'm intrigued to even try that. But being a universal product code site, I'm not going to really be able to run that test properly because they will likely match. Anyway, so to not digress so much, you would take this 20% off here, and you would go down here to the source price adjustments, and you would write down here 20%. Now, you want to put that 20% in there and just search that category, really, because if you run 20% across the entire store, then you're going to get all these sites that do not currently have this discount. So that's more of a targeted search. Now, in some cases, there'll be site-wide searches. In some cases, you're just going to want to search just this clearance category link and nothing but just the clearance category. And my point is that every single one of these stores is going to have something. Now, why did I search Fat Brain Toys this morning? So I don't currently have an email set up with a subscription of every single store in place. So sometimes I just go across to say, retail me not. And I'll start sort of having a poke around here. I'll be looking for, looking for top offers and whatnot, and having a look at see the kind of thing that is sort of sticking out at the moment. One thing I noticed is that Fat Brain Toys, and you have to be careful if you're using cashback sites. I should really mention this. No, Retail Me Not's not a paid service. It's just a free site out there which tells you deals. So I just caught that in the chat. So Fat Brain Toys has got 16% off single purchase, which is great. Fat Brain Toys, as we're approaching Christmas, toys is an interesting thing for us to be scanning right now. So I started that scan this morning. It was literally only an hour ago because I thought I've got a webinar coming up. I might as well start a scan so I can show people results of the scan. And I didn't put a lot of filters in there. I put remove if there is less than one estimated sales a month, because I want to see at least it's selling. Over the course of a month, I want to make sure that this item sells, whether it sells 1 time or 10 times or 100 times. I just want to know that this is selling. That's it. Then I put in that my cost per pound to ship to Amazon would be 80 cents a pound. Now, your mileage may vary on that. It really depends on the product. I found that you can bring that price down a little bit with cosmetics, and with some bulkier things, sometimes you jack that price up. But for me personally, 80 cents a pound is about right. That's the only sort of estimation that you're going to have in this entire calculation. Everything else is pretty much worked out exactly. Now, if you're using a prepping and shipping house, you'd also put in there any costs to prep per standard products. The other thing you wouldn't want to put in the store price reductions before we move away from this is any cashbacks that particular site may offer. Now, there is cashback aggregate sites you can actually type in. I utilize a tool that Christopher Grant created called Rev ROI. It's a little Chrome extension just because I like the one-click solution. You click on that, it just tells you the top cashback, which is a very commonly used cashback site. is going to give you an additional 6% back if you use their link. Now, when you're going to use a cashback link, you really want to use that link right as you are checking out Fat Brain Toys. So be careful if you've gone to a site like Retail Me Not, who's directing you there, because they are, in effect, putting their own little link down there. That's the whole reason this site even exists. And make sure that when you do that final checkout, if you're using a cashback site, that you do go in and, in this case, you'll be using Top Cashbacks link to get that extra 6%. So I was looking at 16% plus 6% when I ran that search.
Hey, Alex, Justin wanted to know, when you put the 20%, does that affect the price or just the adjusted price?
So it affects the price. So let's say, for example, we're looking at a $100 item from Fat Brain Toys. Then let's take off 16%. So that's going to bring it down to $84. Now, 6% of $84 is, I'm going to say it's about $5. So that's going to bring that down to, say, $81. And then it's going to use the $81 as the adjusted price when calculating the return on investment against Amazon's price after fees. So that's basically how that works. Hopefully that answered your question, Justin. So what other filters have I got in here? Now, there's so many you can choose from. So it's a little bit of paralysis by analysis for a lot of people when they start this. So we actually have almost finished a newbie version of this, and there'll be a little toggle at the top of the page where you can just go, I'm just starting out, just show me the newbie version, or bring me back to the advanced version. Now, that's coming soon. If it takes 2 weeks, I'll be surprised. It's really soon. We've completed most of it. What we're going to have in that newbie version is it's going to hide almost all of these filters. And it's pretty much going to automatically populate this filter with estimated sales is more than one. And it's going to allow you to enter in your discounts and your fees. And the other thing it's going to enter in is show any data if the gross ROI is at least. And I think in the newbie version, I set it for 5%. Now, a lot of people will say, wow, 5%, there's no way I want just 5% profit. But I've got a few reasons why you keep it low, and you're going to have to sort of bear with me. So this right here is set up a little bit how I search. You've got like remove if estimated sales is less than 1. Alternatively, you can mess around with the rank if you know what you're searching for and you know the rank limits. So I actually just like to use estimated sales because I just like to see that the thing's selling, to be honest. I've got some prepping costs in there, and I've got return on investment. Now, I might also want to say, only keep the data if the gross profit is at least, let's only look at stuff with a few dollars kind of thing. Once again, we're looking for higher than that if we can, but keep things nice and conservative, and there's reasons why. Other filters. So if you've got time, and guess what? These days you do have time because you can start another scan as soon as you set this up and hit search. The old way was you have to wait for the scan to finish, and almost all softwares are like that. You've got to wait for the scan to get to the very end before you can then start the following scan. Now, Tactical Arbitrage now runs simultaneous scans, so you can afford to get a little bit more exploratory with your scans. It'll take a bit longer, but that doesn't matter so much because you can start scanning multiple. You could even start a scan on one category of 1,000 bulbs, and then hit search, and then start another category of 1,000 bulbs. So you can still get heaps of 1,000 bulbs data really fast, or you can start a scan and then search a different site and then a different site and get all those scans going at once. So what I like to do is I also like to reverse search results. Now, this does add a bit of time to the scan, but like I said, you've got multiple scans at once happening, so it's not such a problem. So reverse searching will say, okay, we found it over here on Amazon, and we found it over here on 1,000 bulbs. But I just want to tell you that we also found it over on Walmart, and it was another $1 cheaper again. So you might want to buy it from them and not from 1,000 bulbs. That's what reverse searching is going to do in the product search page. I also like to show Amazon out of stock results. Now that doesn't mean that Amazon is not currently selling the item. It means that there is no sellers basically selling this item right now. It basically means that it's kind of currently a dead listing. Now, if you've got this history where you can tell that it is an item that sells multiple times per month, but it's a dead listing right now, then you can go in and be the guy who is selling that particular item. So I do like to tick these boxes. You don't have to if you just want to get to some quick searches. It's getting into the slightly more advanced rules. So at the bare minimum, I would suggest the filters I've already mentioned. Some of the other filters that are on this page in the advanced section are, you might not like dealing with oversized products. You can remove those. You can remove if the source store is out of stock. I understand the disappointment of finding a really profitable item, but Target.com is out of stock of that item, and you don't know when they're going to be back into stock. So you might want to save yourself that disappointment in the search results by removing them from the results now. There's a reason I don't tick this box. It's because we do have built into Tactical Arbitrage on all tiers this option to automatically check once a day if an item comes back into stock. So you could basically see this item appear in your view data page. You can save it into a saved folder, and then you can set up in your settings to go and check that item once a day to see whether or not Target's come back into stock of this WWE toy or this whatever this Barbie toy is, or whatever that was out of stock with these great margins, but was out of stock when you first encountered it. Then you'll get these emails every day saying, oh, by the way, that Barbie toy is back in stock now. And if you've taken the time to set that up, then you'll see that alert, whereas everybody else searching won't. So you can actually start layering in these different finds within Tactical Arbitrage to, so what at first, when you're very first starting out, you're finding all these details, one by one. And then as you become more experienced, you're starting to get these messages from Tactical Arbitrage to say, by the way, we found one for you today. The return on investment just became over 25%, and it's now in stock, and you can go and grab that over at Target today. So that's where Tactical Arbitrage can come in and help you. So this is why I don't mess with too many filters. I like to keep my options open. Remove if Amazon contains no weight or size data. So I sometimes tick this. I don't like those products where there's no weight or size data in Amazon. It's difficult for us to tell you an exact return after fees, and it's difficult. You're going a little bit more blindly. If there's a really good, healthy margin in those products, though, then they're pretty safe to get and send in. But if you're just starting out, you might want to tick that box, and I might even make that in the newbie version automatically ticked in the back end, because they are a little bit confusing in the results. Moving on, remove if Amazon is also a seller and now in stock. This is for people who don't like to ever compete against Amazon. Personally, everything I've ever sold against Amazon, I have eventually sold out of. So I'm not so scared of that. But if you're starting out and you're concerned about products stagnating, storage fees accumulating over time, and that kind of thing, and you're just afraid of going head-to-head with Amazon, pricing against them, etc., you can actually remove them there. There's reviews and ratings here, in case you don't want to see those 2-star review products. You might want to remove products with an Amazon price of less than, I used to use this all the time when I wasn't doing demonstrations. So remove products with an Amazon price of less than $15. What did I put there? $15. So that'll remove any products where if it's $14.99 or lower over at Amazon, although you can still find good stuff even as low as $12 with $4 or $5 margins if you just get the right products. So I'm talking about those tiny computer parts, those resistors and transistors and diodes and relays and those kind of things that you'll find over at some stores for 80 cents each, and they're selling for like $11.95 at Amazon. The kind of product you might overlook, but after fees, there's still $5 in it. and they're selling all day long. So you have to be careful. The more filters you put in, the more little gems you might not find. So I recommend in the early days, start setting your filters really loose, and then later add in the few things that you're just tired of seeing. A couple other things in here allow you to adjust if words, like if Amazon contains the word bundle, for example, you might want to remove that, et cetera, et cetera. And then we get across to the results. So you started a search, and that was the fat brain search that I started before, and then we start seeing results. Now, on this page here, I can see that there's 52 results. Now, I started this scan about an hour ago, and I already did some column filtering. I decided to go in and make my column filters. What did I do? I did estimated monthly sales, only show me if it's selling at least 4 per month. And what else did I do? Not much else, actually. And now you can go in there and you can do your own little matching. This one here, there is a little bit of box art difference, and any seller will tell you you have to be a bit wary. The universal product code may have matched perfectly, but if the manufacturer has decided to change the box art, that does put you at risk for a negative review. There's not a lot that Tactical Arbitrage can do about that. We've determined that the match quality on this, as you can see here, is 73. We're not saying it's 100 out of 100. We're saying it's 73, which means that this looks like it's the same product, but maybe something about it's not quite right. And in this case, it's the box art. If you wanted to make sure that you really did see good matching products, then you can raise this match quality up. And once again, the column filters are great. Do a lot of your searching and analysis just in the view data page. If you've forgotten to filter something in the product search, you can always filter it when you see the results come in. So that's pretty good. I'm just going down the list here. I'm seeing some Crayola, seeing some squirrel family type things. And let's have a look at return on investments here. Gross ROI on the squirrel family, we're looking at 108%. Now, why? We've got, see, this one has 2 additional babies. Now, why did we match on this? I'm going to answer that because people will ask me, how come we got a match on that? The reason is because we also use advanced image matching. And as you can see there, we've got these 4 squirrels in a row. We've got these 4 squirrels exactly the same. Somebody's utilized the exact same picture. They tagged the 2 babies on the front. It's dropped the match quality score from 100 down to 87. But in this particular case, that is not an exact match. So we're going through, and this is applied our 16%. So let me just have a look here at the adjusted prices here. So this Perplex's game, it's $12.95, and then it's adjusted to 16% plus the 6% cashback. So we're going in looking at $10.23, and I should do the anatomy of a row really. So on this, you can actually sort of see the spikes in sales. You can see the rating, the reviews. You can see the current sales rank and the average rank. You can also sort of see what it's currently selling for over at Amazon. And you can see that return after prep and ship. Interestingly enough, this particular product seems to have quite a big ROI in it, so I need to look into that a little more. There is going to be some filtering, of course. I mean, 52 products in an hour, and it hasn't even been filtered yet. I'm going to want to look into this more. See this GeoSmart Lunar Rover, for example, $33.74 from Joanne. It's selling for $39.44 after all fees over at Amazon. Now, why are we seeing a Joanne product when I did a Fat Brain Toys search? This is a prime example of me using the reverse search function. So it's actually gone in and said, well, look, we couldn't find any profit at Fat Brain Toys on this, but it is selling at the moment over at Joanne for $33.74, and there is profit in it.
Hey, Alex, real quick, let me ask a couple questions. Justin wants to know, so ROI and gross profit are based off of your adjusted price with the discount added?
Yes, yeah. There'd be no point in me calculating the return on investment on, yes. So yeah, I can see he's already responded with perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see actually in a Fat Brain Toys one here, how there is an adjusted rate, but in Barnes & Noble, for example, there's no adjusted rate because we didn't apply a category discount to that. You can actually go into settings and say, you know, this is, if you do encounter Barnes & Noble, please apply 20% discount to this because I know that they've currently got a sale on. And then if it encounters that in reverse searches, it'll apply that in the adjusted prices there too. We're looking at making that a little better and more current. I'm in discussions with someone, and I won't go into details right now, on being able to import some of these and automatically update some of these store price style discounts to make that a little bit faster. Do we have any other questions at this point? So there's a bunch of stuff you can do on here. You can exclude brands that you're not able to sell. It'll tell you that it's a merchant fulfilled buy box. Now there's a cool little feature request we had recently. Somebody said, look, if it's merchant fulfilled, can we please give the option on adding to the buy box price a virtual increase in price? Because realistically, we can sell it as an FBA seller for a couple of dollars more and we'll still get the buy box. Now, this is true because Amazon prioritizes FBA over merchant fulfilled sellers to the point that you can really jack the price up by $1.50 to $2. So for example, here it says Amazon buy box $103.94. You'd almost want to do this as a percentage of the price because I found that sometimes these higher priced items, I could possibly even price that at say $108 FBA and still get the buy box over this merchant fulfilled seller. Whereas in the lower price things such as $10 to $12, I'd probably only price like $1.50 higher, and that should secure me the buy box. Other people may have their own little exact sweet spot for that. But if I go into Tactical
Alex,
Edge on this.
Sorry, go ahead, finish it. You're saying?
Well, I was just going to say, if I go into Tactical Edge, I can see the other sellers here. And this is interesting. This is actually Fat Brain Toys selling this item in this instance. So I'm surprised we're getting as many results as we are. They obviously haven't applied their 16% discount plus their 6%. Their entire catalog's probably not on Amazon for one, and they also haven't got those discounts applied in their Amazon store. So this is why we're still seeing some results, even though Fat Brain Toys likes to sell their products on Amazon as well. So it's interesting because Amazon is selling on this product as well. And it looks like since I ran that scan, Amazon's now secured the buy box. So $79.63 seems to be the point there, where Amazon also gives themselves a little multiplier as well, of course. So that is $1 to $3 higher than this merchant fulfilled seller. And it's a prime example of how FBA, or in this case Amazon, has stolen the buy box from a merchant fulfilled seller with a $3 spread, a good $3 spread there. Now, this actually brings me back to this tactical information is part of Tactical Arbitrage. All you've got to do is click on the little microscope on any row. So if I was to click on this little guy here, let's have a look. This guy's only got 13% ROI. You might want to close the doors on that, but it's always worth drilling down into it because we might discover something. We might discover, and this is why I keep my return on investment so low, and this is important. We might discover in this case that, sure, it's 13% at this level here that he's selling for $52.99. But if he sells out, and every graph's going to be different, you know, we might find estimated sales of like 200 on one item, and the guy's only got 5 in stock. So if this guy sells out $52.99, the next price point above him is $55.32. So it's a common mistake of new sellers to come in and go, let's price at $52.98. Let's race this guy to see who can sell out first. Whereas it's often smarter to keep a track of how many the guy's got in stock. And I'll talk to you about the stock levels because we got a new feature coming that's it's going to be very useful for what I'm talking about here. So $52.99, right? This guy, let's say we know for a fact he's got 5 in stock, or let's say we know for a fact this is selling 30 units a month. Okay, so then we go, by the time I've packaged up my product and sent it into Amazon and it's on the shelf, this guy's not even going to be in stock. So I might as well price at $55.32. Oh, hang on a minute, he's merchant fulfilled. I can probably price higher than him. So now we're talking at about $58 we can probably price. So we're not looking at 14% ROI anymore. We're looking at about 28% ROI. So Tactical Edge is a really good tool for you to utilize to make your pricing decisions. And this is why I set my return on investment so low. In this case, I've set it for 1%. But if I see something there that I want to sell, I'm going to go into Tactical Edge and see whether or not it's got any additional legs. Obviously, we want as much automated for us as possible. But if I can drill into it and say, hang on, this is an even better deal than I thought, I might find an item come back with 2% ROI. Look, this one here says 4% ROI. That one's actually not a match, so it's a bad example. 4% ROI. So yeah, even though it's such a low ROI, I might come on in here and find out there's actually 20% ROI once this one rogue seller, often with just one product. A lot of new sellers like to buy just one of each item, and I even recommend that tactic because if you're starting out, you want to go wide, you want to introduce yourself to this space. Other people might argue with me, but I think putting the extra work in the early days where you buy 2 to 3 of each item and just getting a feel for it and making sure you're comfortable with the fact that things do sell, you know, then starting to go deep and go, well, I'm really confident on this. I found it in a way using discounts in such a way. I don't think there'll be a lot of competition for this find. It's on a fairly obscure website. I'm pretty sure that I found some gold here that nobody else has really found, and I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to buy 20 of these units. It sells well and whatnot, and I'm confident. So you can start getting into that phase when you get to sort of a little bit more confidence in the process.
Alex, there's a couple of questions real quick. Sylvia had asked, did you answer that where she said, you did answer it, but I don't know if you answered it when she asked. She said, how did the other stores show up on the Fat Brain store search? That was because the reverse search was on, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And yeah, if you missed that part, you can scroll back on the replay, check it out. But yeah, it's because the reverse search feature is on. It's finding it from other supported sites. Safari89 says, do you change the filter for any search or stores? He has another question, but I'll ask that after you answer that one.
Do I change the filters for any search or stores? Well, I'm a column filterer, whereas, you know, that never used to exist in Tactical Arbitrage, that column filtering technique. So I don't change filters a lot. I like to come into here and there's just so much power you've got just up the top here, just changing your estimated monthly sales, drilling down on your rank here. I can just say, look, I only want to see average ranks of up to 250,000. So everybody's got their own unique style. Personally, I like to filter in the columns and keep it really loose over here. I'd rather see more and then drill down into it. Do you recommend a paid subscription to Keeper? I'm actually seeing the chat now. It's coming up in a little box off the side of the screen.
Okay. A couple of them are in the queue.
I'm not trying to do you out of a job, but I don't catch them all. I don't think you need a paid subscription to Keeper. So the reason why there is the option to add Keeper keys in the settings, and it's all explained in the videos guide for the settings page. But the reason why I recommend getting the Keeper subscription is if you do a lot of Amazon to Amazon flips. If you do a lot of Amazon to Amazon flips, what it will do is it will allow you to use a shorter cache, like do a live search on an Amazon to Amazon flip. If you're still starting out in online arbitrage or wholesale, that's not going to be relevant to you, and you can ignore the option to get a paid subscription. I may even make that Amazon to Amazon flips section free at some point in the future. I'm already paying for so many Keeper tokens and such a huge Keeper subscription to run Tactical Arbitrage that an extra feature being made free probably it probably wouldn't kill me, you know. So
people would love that. Safari 89 had a second part of the question. They said, also, which filter is better to add in order to get to not get such a massive data result? It's kind of like you said about the filtering. You know, it's having tons of data is not the problem. It's if you filter it quickly, you know, you want as much data as you can as long as you filter it well. But you can answer.
Yeah, I agree. Having a lot of data is not a huge problem because you can always see. I've got some stuff filtered out, right? So there is some products that are not visible in this particular scan because I'm using the column filters. If I decide that I don't really want those products that I've gotten rid of, I can hit this delete all button and just delete hidden. It'll just delete the rows that are not currently there. So I'll do that now. So the hidden data has been removed, okay? And all of my column filters have been reset as well. So I can go in and then do some additional filtering if I like. I might say, let's only see the Fat Brain Toys products because I've decided that I don't like money and I just want to just see from one store. So I can go through there, Fat Brain Toys, apply, and then I can go through and delete hidden again. And so on and so forth. I can continue to do that and drill down that way if I like. Tactical Edge, I wanted to mention something that I just about touched on before. This in stock section here, we have actually completed the task right before my developer went away on holidays. He went away for 2 weeks and he's almost due back in the next few days. And it works in my account, but it's not unlocked here yet, where I would see the accurate stock levels there. But not only the accurate stock levels, but also if the seller has a cap. Now, what do I mean by cap? I mean, if this guy here, it says he only has 3 in stock, but he actually has, let's say he's got 560 in stock, but he's told Amazon, I only want to sell a limit of 3 per person, then it will show us 3. But we were able to put cap beside it so that we can, you can know at least that he's a cap seller. I'm still looking at an algorithm to try and get what his actual stock level will be and look to the other side of the cap. But that's proving extremely complicated. Amazon's got some pretty strong barriers up for that one. But we'll be able to see, you know, this guy's got 47, this guy's got 124, this guy's got 11, and that's going to help you know where you can position yourself in amongst the other sellers with your pricing, and still realistically see sales in the near future. So that's a pretty cool thing that's coming. There is a lot of cool things that are coming with Tactical Arbitrage.
As always.
Yeah, I just don't know if we should start drilling into all of those things now, or, there's a lot of people here who are just still struggling with the how to operate phase, let alone the, what's coming phase kind of thing. So
yep.
we could save some of that for the other day, another day. But we do have the newbie look coming. We do have this stock section coming as well. And there is, let me tell you how many tasks we've got. We've got, I'm looking at another window, we've got 473 current active tasks. And we just hired this week 4 new full-time developers. So that should allow us to double, if not triple, our pace of feature output. It's basically, for a long time, we've been building the juggernaut to a position that it's looking good, it's functioning well, it's doing what we want it to do. And now we've strengthened the stability of it enough and the security of it enough that we can add the additional developers and now elevate this and escalate the speeds to start carving through the additional features. So there is a lot of stuff coming, and I could just randomly read stuff to you, and adding the 30-90 day option to compare against for Amazon prices is one. That's where, instead of working out your return on investment versus Amazon's current buy box price, we work it out versus the 30-day average. There's a rapid skip option, which you currently need to activate in settings, which allows you to only see products that have been found using cache. We're going to be adding that to this page, so you can use rapid search when you want to, right here from the main page. There's rapid search version 2 coming. Rapid search version 2 will go through everything that's cached really quickly, so you start getting results fast, and then it'll go back to the start, and anything that wasn't cached, it'll go through those one by one at a slower pace. But that way you've got stuff appearing in view data really quickly for you to start working. So that's coming.
Alex, Juan has a question. Juan he says, I've done reverse searches, picking ASINs with Storefront Stalker, and a lot of products from an Amazon seller are ROI negative. Is that normal?
So are you utilizing the return on investment filter? Because if you've got if gross return on investment is at least a positive number there, then you shouldn't be seeing those negative ROI items. Otherwise, right, if you're just saying, show me everything, like if I even ran this search in product search and said, show me everything, then yeah, I would definitely see both positive and negative ROI. And if you think about it, we're looking for the gems. So statistically, there's going to be more negative ROI items across a scan of 5,000 items than there would be positive ROI items. So we're looking for those 10 to 20% of items, those gems. And that's the same for reverse search. You need to make sure that you utilize this. And otherwise, if you forget, once again, I mean, you'll fill up your view data page pretty fast, but you can always go into the column filters and say, only show me items with a positive ROI. And that'll quickly filter that down for you as well.
Justin wanted to know, where's the place to set up back in stock notifications? Is it in the settings or a coming feature?
That's in settings. I'd open my settings page now, but I kind of have it set up so that my MWS keys will show, and they're a little
all the good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Story hides everything.
But we definitely should drill into or discuss, if not in this webinar, and we should try and do these more regularly, to be honest. We should definitely have a settings webinar, because the settings, I've got another window which you can't see. The settings options will change your searches again. So you should maybe have the notifications set up to let you know when a scan finishes. You can set that up for email or SMS. We're looking at a version 2 of that as well. So that, because now we've got Search Manager in there's so many scans running at once. We want to give a bit more information in the notifications that come through to you. So it's kind of like your Walmart scan has finished, or your reverse search, bestsellers reverse search scan for toys is now completed. So we want to give you a bit more information in those notifications. So that'll be coming as well. In settings as well, you've got search filters for your title and image matches, what you should set that for. You can exclude certain categories you're not ungated in case you're experiencing gate
definitely smart to do that too if you're a newer seller. I know a lot of people are new users, but if you're also a new seller, save yourself the heartache of seeing things you're gated in and remove those in your settings. Alex, I'm going to say it wrong. Thabo, Thabo, says, are you going to touch on expat data a bit? I figured that we wouldn't touch on expats, but we can, if you want to briefly, that'd probably be good. If so, is there an easy way to add expat data so to increase the number of sites to search from aside from the ones that come with TA? Yeah, so if everybody didn't know, you can add sites to Tactical Arbitrage so it goes well beyond the, what is it now, 900 come with it supported?
Yeah, so,
Then you can add
well, I think about 950 or something like that, but
uh-huh.
we're adding a team of people for all of the underutilized, underrepresented countries. So this might not be so interesting to the US folks in here, but let's say France has only got 23 stores. We're adding a XPath guide just for France to add like 150 stores to that so that we are dominant in every one of the countries we represent. But that's kind of how it works. So let me just pull across advanced user. And we are getting into a, as it's called, more advanced technique here that newbies probably aren't really interested in, but it's definitely something good to know. Product search has got all of these stores here you can search from. And providing you have set up emails from these stores with deals coming through to your inboxes and you're running a lot of scans, you may never need to go outside of these stores. However, if you are aware of a store that you like to search that often has good promotions and good deals that Tactical Arbitrage does not have, you might want to keep that for yourself. I mean, we can't guarantee that we won't eventually add it because we're adding stuff all the time. And there's some other really cool services out there like Tactical Bucket that has hundreds of XPath sites that you can plug into Tactical Arbitrage. But you can also come along in here and add a site. So to do that, you click Create New Rule, and then you need to know a little bit of code. It's called XPath code. Now, there is a lot of XPath developers out there. They're not hard to find on websites like freelancer.com. Elance has now become, I believe, upwork.com. There's Guru, etc. And you want to do a search for somebody to make XPaths for you. And then you just send them the site that you want Tactical Arbitrage to search, and you get them to find the product XPath, and they kind of look like these things here. The category XPath, and we drop all that stuff in here, and then we save it with the domain name, like Bob's Basketballs. And suddenly, Tactical Arbitrage isn't just a site with 900 places to search. We're looking, the sky's the limit. You can add thousands if you want to really take the time and hire the guys. And if you can search that fast, then yeah, you can definitely add more.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely something that I would, you can outsource these for pretty cheap. And also some people sell them in bulk from time to time. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And yeah, there's a lot of ways to get them without learning how to code. Don't learn how to code, focus on selling.
Yeah, you should be able to find, get these made for you at around about $20 each from somebody who's in the know. Tactical Arbitrage, however, does not run solely and wholly on XPath sites. We have a lot of what's called hard-coded sites. So probably 30% or 35% of all sites added to Tactical Arbitrage, they just won't work with XPaths. And you'll have the exact same experience if you try to add a site. 1 in 3 of them, or about 1 in 3 of them, I think, just won't add no matter what you do. And that's for different reasons to do with the way that the code's put together on that particular site. In which case, that's probably a good one to request us to add to the main site because it involves some hard coding, integration, etc. So that's covered product search. Reverse search I'll just touch on before we get to sort of some more questions. Reverse search has a method for you to take a list of ASINs or simply select a category from here is another option. This used to be a paid add-on, but it's now built into Tactical Arbitrage as a feature. And you select a category here, We'll drill down into it and maybe select action figures and statues. Put a few filters in there and hit search. And what it'll do is it'll go backwards and have a look at these Amazon products to see whether or not we can discover if any of those products are at any of the stores that we represent or in the system, or even if you've added them to your advanced user and they've been searched at some point and they're in our database, and we can also find them via reverse search. And then we present those to you if they're profitable. So basically it's the same as product search, but we're looking from the Amazon products backwards. This is good. Like at Christmas, for example, you wanted to say, look, toys are going to sell well. I just want to see if there's any good deals on toys right now. So I'm just going to start searching the Amazon catalog of action figures and statues, games, etc. Now, there's no really good reason why you wouldn't have a reverse product search running at all times, because it's pretty easy to set one up now. You just go toys and games, categories, grown-up toys. I don't know what grown-up toys are. It sounds a bit like you shouldn't be searching it.
Yeah, let's not search.
We'll also show image title matches. If you have entered into your settings any known store discounts at the moment, like Barnes & Noble 20% off, it will apply those as it searches. Put your costs and fees in there, your return on investment, and then you basically just hit the search and away it goes. It starts looking at all those toys and starts looking to see if we can find them on other sites. And over on the dashboard, we'll see the reverse light is now going green because our search is happening there. So in addition, we have wholesale where you can import manifests. Now, manifests are these Excel spreadsheets that you might get from a particular wholesaler, and it'll be all wholesale prices. And traditionally, you'll have to contact the wholesaler and build a relationship with them and say, I'd really love to see your pricing, and then you can compare that list, and usually it'll have universal product codes on there. It'll compare that list against Amazon and tell you which items you should maybe approach the wholesaler about getting good pricing on. We have library, which is finding books on Amazon. This is really more so for the US guys, because the UK and other country buy boxes for books are very squirrely, and they don't really act in the same way as US. US is kind of cool in that it's prioritizing the FBA seller when it shows the buy box. So you can find these little merchant fulfilled sellers that are selling these books for $1.50, but buy box is FBA for $19, and you can go buy it off the merchant fulfilled guy and then go sell it on the FBA spot. So books is cool, especially textbooks. That's really good. But if you're just starting out, you might just want to get maybe an online arbitrage subscription, or a online arbitrage plus wholesale is another variant that you might want to look into, depending on your wholesale game at this point. Yeah, any other questions at the moment?
Chet literally just asked, when is the best time to search on live mode versus the rest?
So once again, everyone's got their own style of searching. I like to always use cache and then update. If I find something that's, let's say, appeared here, and this top one here has got, say, 76% ROI, if I update this row, it's going to take a couple of seconds. It's going to go back and get the Fat Brain Toys pricing. It's going to get the Amazon pricing, and it's going to tell me that it's still 76%, okay? But now this data is live. This is the actual accurate right now information that we need. So, so what I would say is use cache to get a lot of data quickly and then update. Now you might want to find the sweet spot. Let's say you know of a sale that's been on for 2 days, and you've just found out about the sale. Oh no, it's been on for 2 days. Using 5-day cache in that example might give you a few false positives, because some of the data that you might be getting back might be from information that was before the sale was on. So in that case, I may adjust that particular search to, say, a 2-day cache search. So I'm likely to be bundling in any scans that were done within the 2 days of the sale. It's already been. Live search is, at the end of the day, the live data is the data that you want to base all your buying decisions on. So once you really got that list at the end, like these are the 15 products I'm going to buy today, and you've got them in a little folder, then probably select those items. Or you could even just use the update data, the button at the top of the page. It'll update everything that you've got sitting there on the page. Or row by row, you can do it as well. If you're a bit curious like me and you want to just check it out while you're drilling into Tactical Edge and while you're drilling into everything else, you can just get the updated data there. So yeah, a lot of ways you can't break tactical arbitrage by messing around with it. So I would say experiment with it, just play with it. It's a treasure hunting tool at the end of the day, and that's the exciting part of this industry is hunting for treasure. So
yep.
You'll find the way that works best.
Alex, do you want to answer these last two? We'll answer these last two questions and then call it a night. I think that 1 hour is a dense hour to cover all of this for new sellers. Guys, if there's anything that wasn't covered, you can definitely leave comments. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and let me know, and I will relay it back to Alex. But as far as, we have two more questions. One says, I thought Amazon flips were not permitted by Amazon. So that's kind of a misconception. With Amazon flips, the problem with Amazon flips is that a lot of people were using their personal account when they were supposed to be using a buyer's account or a business account. So I'm writing a blog post on Amazon flips this week to share for Alex's Facebook page. So I'll talk about that a little bit more. If you're not comfortable with Amazon flips, don't do them. I mean, it's everybody can make their own choice on that, but it's definitely, I've worked with hundreds of people who have done them. I've worked with people who were suspended because of Amazon flips that came back as inauthentic. And in their appeals, we told Amazon where we got the product, and we told them that our source was another Amazon seller, and they got approved. They got back. It's not ideal. But unless somebody can find somewhere in the Amazon terms of service that says explicitly that, it's not something I worry about, but everybody should make their own decision.
I think the specific red flag that Amazon has is don't use your Prime account.
Yeah.
Like don't.
And also there was several years back, people were sharing bolos with affiliate link, with the Amazon associate link. And so basically what was happening is we'd share the link, and when we would buy it, the person that shared it was getting a commission. So like if somebody found a bolo that was going to be, it was $100 and we're going to buy 10 of them, that's $1,000. That person was getting between 4 and 10% of the cart. So they were getting between $40 and $100. So people were literally just rolling in these affiliate commissions from the Amazon associate program. And that one was blatant. That one was blatantly in the terms of service, and all those people got their accounts, their associate accounts shut down, and they might nuke they don't usually link the two, but it could happen that they'd nuke everything, even your buyer's account. So that's how that works. If you guys if you're not comfortable, don't worry about it. Justin says, for wholesale, do we have to get an XPath for that specific site, or are our well-known wholesale websites already available somewhere? I cannot read, apparently.
Okay, so that's a recent feature we just added to wholesale. I mean, a lot of people just use wholesale to import their CSV and Excel spreadsheets that they've gotten from their wholesalers. But recently we added the ability to search a wholesale site. Now, wholesale sites are logged in sites where you've got to, you get past the gatekeeper where they say, yes, you can have a search, and you can generate an account with us, and you can log in and see your unique pricing, etc. But for a very long time, there was no way to ever scan a logged in site. Now, with the assistance of Yavius and One from Tactical Bucket, we did work out an integration for that. So you'll have to get wholesale XPaths for those, and that's from Tactical Bucket. So we added the feature. You definitely don't need to scan wholesale sites that way. You can usually get the manifest from the company, but if you like to actually continue your site scanning way of doing things that you do in product search for wholesale sites, then you will need to go ahead and get a relationship going with Tactical Bucket, get some of those wholesale XPaths, and then import them into Tactical Arbitrage in that respect.
Awesome. All right, guys, everybody who's either watching the replay or watching this live streaming on FBA Today, thank you for joining us. This has been awesome. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. If you are new to Tactical Arbitrage, this webinar is the first one I would watch. It's obviously you're at the end of it, but this is something that you should share with people who are new. This is something that everything that Alex covered is the basics that will make sure that you're getting started with the software on the right foot. Now, he has tons of videos that he thinks they're outdated because he updates the interface so much. There's tons of great videos still in the I forget where you actually would see it. If you go into your account, Alex has filmed hours
on the right-hand side of every page.
There's hours of training there that that a lot of people don't even know is there. So check that out. He's done a ton of work to make sure that it's as clear as possible. It's a very powerful tool. It can be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be. Definitely watch the videos and take some action. If you guys are curious about Tactical Arbitrage, check it out, tacticalarbitrage.com. If for some reason you found this, if you're not a user. If you are a user, I hope you guys have a great Q4. Alex, I'll see you. I'll probably call you after this. He muted himself, I think. All right. He says bye, I'm sure. see you guys. Bye. He did say bye. See, I told you. I had a feeling that was what you were going to say. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.